Hey everybody, welcome back. If you're new here, welcome. We're talking about, in the previous video, I had done what a lot of preppers don't talk about, and that is the dreaded B word, which is budget. That video, which I will link in the description box below, says why I think it's important that you have a monthly budget. Times have changed for a lot of people in the last couple of years. You know, we had a worldwide shutdown. A lot of people lost jobs. A lot of people have not gotten back on their feet yet. Inflation has hit, etc. So we kind of, in my opinion, need to know where things went and what we're spending our money on. This video is going to focus on how I came up with my personal budget, and it may work for you. There are lots of apps out there to help you do a budget. There's a lot of YouTube videos, so I'm not going to go into great details. I'm just going to tell you what works for me, and I'm going to recommend that you find somebody, whether it be on paper, on an app, watching specific budgeting videos. And unfortunately, I do not have any specific ones I recommend, but because you need to find something that's going to work for you. I'm going to tell you what worked for me, okay? The first thing I did was jot down where I thought my money was going, okay? Things that I know without thinking about it, where I spend money. And it would be things, for example, for my house, okay? I do not have a mortgage payment, but I have taxes, property taxes I have to pay. There is homeowner's insurance I have to pay. What else goes with my house? I have utilities that have to be paid. I don't have it, but some people may have things like snow removal service if you're in the north, lawn cutting services, water bills for, sometimes water bills are separated in some areas, whether you're doing irrigation for, lawns or whatever. So I kind of tried to think of all the different things that I have to spend on a regular basis for my house. And then it occurred to me that part of the reason why I need to re-look at my budget is I had a lot of unexpected expenses, such as replacing my well pump this year. So I need to start a basic maintenance fund. And I was reminded of that when I went to open the door and the doorknob broke. So, I'm going to have to replace the doorknob on my front door because it no longer turns. Anyway, so other things I had to think about was my vehicles. My car, do I have a payment? Yes, I do. I have to put gas in my car. I need to do certain required maintenance, such as oil changes. Depending on the age of the vehicle, if there's no warranty, which mine is not, I need to think about setting aside some money for future maintenance, whether it be new brakes, new tires, a hose or a belt that needs to be replaced, and things like that. So once I kind of thought about where I was and I jotted them all down, I went to my credit union. I have two different credit unions for two different purposes, but the main one where the majority of my regular bills, I just have things sent out automatic, come from. I looked at 12 months of the statements. This part is the worst part of the budget, okay, you guys? This is where you sit and take your time and figure out where your money goes. It's not fun. So grab a coffee, in my case a Diet Pepsi, maybe a glass of wine. Don't drink too much because you got to keep your figure straight. But anyway, sit down on a night when you have time and you can make yourself space and it's quiet and you could try to figure this out. It's a one-time deal that you need to do right now, just to figure out where my money went over the last year. So I went through 12 months of statements and I jotted down, for example, my electric bill. Okay, one month maybe it was 80. The next month it might have been 140. The next month it might have been 75. Maybe it was 280 if it was super hot and we had air conditioning running. So I just wrote down all 12 of those bills, okay? And this is an example. It would be for whatever bills that you have, okay? It could be your, if you do a lot of online grocery shopping, maybe it's an easy way for you to figure out what your average spending on grocery bills. So anyway, excuse me, with my electric bill, I could then look back, I could add it all together, and it comes to a certain amount. Let's make it easy, say $1,200. I can divide that by 12. I know that my average electric bill is $100 a month. So I know that I need a minimum of $100 a month in that category to pay that particular bill. Okay, I hope that makes sense. There's ways you can work around that, and that is, maybe your electric company can tell you what your average monthly bill is. Maybe they could put you on the budget plan so you don't have to worry about it. Just call them up and say, hey, I'd like to join the budget plan. What's it going to cost me per month? And you don't have to do all that math stuff, okay? So as I looked through the statements, I found a few things that only come up once in a while that I wasn't thinking of. My car tags, okay? Once a year, I have to put new tabs on my car, and I don't want it to come out of the blue because my budget is going to be very tight. I realize there's very little money left at the end of the month, and I'm determined not to put this all on my credit card, okay? So my car tags are coming up in February, and because I did not pre-budget for those, I need to set aside at least $35 a month to be able to pay those tabs in February, okay? Other things I hadn't thought of because, I should, but I didn't, was I have a lot of birthdays coming up. And I looked back and I went, what did I spend that on? Oh yeah, that was a birthday present. That was a Christmas present. Whatever. So I want a category for myself that is for birthdays and Christmas and things that, Christmas comes once a year, but, am I going to have on my now Social Security limited income be able to pull out a bunch of Christmas gifts that I like to give if I haven't pre-saved for, and not risk putting some other bills in jeopardy, okay? So that part took time, and then I went through, luckily I only have one credit card, excuse me, I gotta sneeze. Luckily I only have one credit card, so I went through my credit card and I realized that the majority of what was on my credit card is either Amazon, which I have kind of an addiction to, which is going to stop, or my dog's vet bills, occasionally something else, odd that I bought offline or something like that. So I had to look at a new category, and that was, on average, how much am I spending a month? My one dog's on 4 different medications I have to purchase. How much are her meds costing me? It's easy to whip out the credit card. Oh, that one's $29. That one's $58. That one's only $11. This one's $4. So I had to average what I'm spending per month on her pills. Then I forgot about Chewy, where I get their heartworm medications, flea and tick, and things like that. So that has to go in there. And of course they have to eat, so their food. Those were things I hadn't thought of a lot. I mean, I knew I was paying them every month, but they were just going on the card. So now I'm making categories so that I can budget that in and not rely later on my credit card so much, and that payment that keeps going up and up and up because I keep adding to it. So that's where I got the majority of my bills from. Now, a lot of people, put a certain amount of cash in their pocket when they get paid every week, month, bi-weekly, however you do it. If you eat out for lunch, maybe at work, try to get an estimate for yourself how much per day you're spending on eating at work. Do you stop and get a coffee every morning? You know, they can range from what? A couple of dollars to $8, depending on how you like your coffee. Do you smoke? You know, you got to budget for your cigarettes. Those are an expense that you have recurring every day, every couple days, however much you smoke. On the weekends, do you like to golf? Do you like to buy a six-pack and rent a movie? Look at those little, if you can, look at where you might be spending your cash or using your credit card, and just get a general idea where that's at. Okay? These are the things that I attempt to list as much as possible. It's your first month is not going to be perfect. Don't expect it to be. It takes a few months to really dial in where your spending's going. Because once you see what you're spending money on, maybe you don't need that double grande whatever coffee at $8. You're happy spending $5 and getting a large instead of a grande, or a medium, which is $3, whatever. You may tweak your budget later and decide, I need more money going in my emergency fund, or I need to save up for an upcoming car repair, new tires that I hadn't thought about. So don't think that this is going to be perfect, but you have your basic, you have your baseline of where you want to start this program, okay? This is how I determine how much, on average, at least I attempted to spend per month. I do quite a bit in cash. You know, maybe I've been going to a thrift store because I've needed new clothes because mine aren't fitting anymore. I like to buy things for my pets. You know, my birds and my dogs are spoiled. So if I see something cool, I might just grab it. There's a way around that as well, but just I just call it my allowance right now. I have my allowance. Another category that I didn't think about that I looked through was my Fetch app. It's a money back app. You scan your receipts and it gives you, I get Amazon cards after I get so many points. And I can save those Amazon cards either for Christmas, or if I, need to buy something, I can go ahead and grab those, cash in this points and get an Amazon gift card for $10 or $20 or whatever. And I can use that. So I can look back on my Fetch and say, oh my gosh, I went here this many times. I scanned my points. For example, my animal food for the birds, the chickens and turkeys and ducks and stuff that live outside, it wasn't, although I know it's a spending thing I have, it was a way to help me see how much I was spending, because I could look back through the app and see where that money went. So, try to figure out the little ways the best you can. Don't stress over this. Just get it down so you know about how much I spend, and then I'm going to tweak it next month. I might tweak it next week for those who are paid weekly. Oh my gosh, all that cash I have in my pocket, I've been really spending it on things that aren't necessary. Maybe I'm going to take half this week, and I'm just going to set this aside to see if I can get through the week. You can tweak it however it works for you, okay? My grocery budget, I have to budget by the month now. It might not work towards the end of the month, because maybe I find a great sale on something. And for me, that's usually meat. When I find something like boneless, skinless chicken breast in my area, is about the not so great stuff is about $3 a pound. If I can find it for 99 cents a pound, you better believe I'm going to go out and buy 40 or 50 pounds of it. Then I don't have to think about it for a while. But now I've just cut my grocery bill, say, by $50. If I only have 120, that gives me 70 for the rest of the month. So, I tweak things as I go as well. So anyway, I hope you understand. I hope I was able to explain it good for you. I'll talk about my categories in the next video, which I'm going to do pretty much right after this. because I'm prepared for it. But I don't want this video to get so long. It's an hour or 45 minutes or something like that. So if you get bored with that, you can stop and move on. But please, if you have any questions on how to figure out approximately what you're spending per month, please leave them below. If you have a method that works great for you, please leave them in the links below or in the comments. If you use specific budgeting apps that work really, really good for you, maybe there's an app out there that you can connect to your account. I'm sure there probably is. I'm not a big app user. I do use them, but as I mentioned before, I do not have internet service here. It's all on my phone, and we only have 50 gigs to work with 3 people here. So, and the boys are gamers. So, I don't use a lot of apps and whatnot. So, if you know of an app, maybe that will look at those statements for you and put all those categories together. Let us know. I want to pass that along to everybody else as well, so that if I can make this any easier, we can. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to take them. If I can't answer them with a comment, we could do a follow-up video, a Q&A session, and we can ask specific questions there. I'm just working on what I need to prepare for any upcoming emergencies I might have. This is the one thing I do not see a lot of preppers talking about. Maybe Prepper Princess, who I like to watch. I know she talks a lot about, being a minimalist and tracking her money and saving and things like that. But honestly, other than that one, I don't know any other homestead or prepper videos that really go into a lot talking about their budgets, and there are specific channels to it. So if you could find some that are really helpful to everybody, let us know. And if they have free printouts or talk about the apps to use, let's pass this along to our community, okay? Anyway, I don't want this to go on forever. I hope I made myself clear. I'm really trying. And again, I hope this helps you out. It does help me tremendously. And we'll talk about next most of my basic categories. So let's wrap this up. I wish you all a great day. I'll be posting another video either later tonight or tomorrow on my categories and some of the ways that you can make it somewhat fun for yourself. Okay, budgeting's never fun, but there are ways to make it a little more enjoyable anyway. So thank you for joining me. Please leave me a thumbs up. It really helps my algorithm, and I hope you have a fantastic day. Bye for now.